One of the best things about growing up is being able to set your own bedtime. Now, I know when I'm tired, you probably know when you're tired, and we all think we can manage ourselves very well, but none of us ever actually get the amount of proper sleep that we need. There are too many nights that we all know that we could have slept in just a little bit, a little hour longer, maybe gotten to bed at a more proper time, maybe we accidentally slept in a little bit too much. We always feel tired. I talk about this for college students, because college students are hit like a plague when it comes down to sleep deprivation. And it's a shame because those are the kinds of people who need to be asleep properly more than anyone else. And their brains need to be sharp, they need to be watching out for the information the teachers are going to throw at them. They need to be critically thinking. And without sleep, they can't do that. And it's because they lack proper discipline and they lack the strategies necessary to be able to grant them that sleep that they need. I'm going to propose a strategy that will help, but first I'm going to talk about a little more detail why I think it's important that we get the sleep. I'm going to really emphasize this. We all think it's funny not getting enough sleep. We know if people are tired. We talk about people like, oh man, I really need my coffee. But it's not funny when you spend time and money on going to school and you go into class and you miss something that the teacher says. And when you miss something the teacher says every single day, your grade starts to drop. That's not funny. Everyone seems to have accepted at this point that students are going to be tired, that students are going to be sleepy. Drugs are produced and recommended all the time. There have been tons of studies done to prove it. Websites for college campuses try to give advice about how to get more sleep. Everyone knows they get more sleep, but the number isn't going down. The National Center for Biotechnological Information, NCBIS, found that 7.7% of college students mark every single box for insomnia disorder, the inability to sleep, which is much larger than our proportion of the population. Too many college students are finding the inability to sleep. And that's not something that we should just accept, because these students need to be at the top of their game, and sleep causes them to lose their ability to take tests, lose their ability to critically think. The Journal for College American Health, unsurprisingly, found that people who are sleep deprived perform worse on tests. No one's surprised by that. But they did find that students who were sleep deprived, when asked after a test how well they thought they did, they often rated themselves higher than if they weren't sleep deprived. And that's the scary part. That is where college students fail. When you're at your best, you are able to judge yourself more critically. When you are deprived at your worst, you think better of yourself. Students may try to get 8 hours of sleep, but a project or perhaps a friend will keep them up an hour later than they're used to. They know they only got 7 hours sleep that night, but they feel fine. They feel like nothing really happened. They're not worried about it. And it happens a number of times, and they think, oh, I can survive on 7 hours sleep. That's great, I can fit more into my schedule. They've given up on trying to monitor themselves carefully. This is something that happens to too many people. It's really easy to think that you're doing fine. Your brain's trying to compensate. It's trying to keep you going. But because of that, many people let themselves go. They don't monitor themselves. That's the scary part. Students aren't watching to make sure they get the sleep. They're going by what they feel is right. And what you feel is right, it clearly isn't right. It's not enough. If you wonder why your grades may be faltering for some reason, check to see if you're getting enough sleep. We shouldn't accept that students are too tired. We shouldn't accept the fact that we aren't getting enough sleep, but it's okay, because it's easy to fix. It just requires a bit of discipline. So there's one strategy that I think is really easy to implement: setting yourself a bedtime. Choosing a time in the day to go to sleep, and then choosing a time in the morning to wake up. And then take those times and apply it to every single day of the week. Every single one. If you have a class that requires you to wake up on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 in the morning because it's a little bit earlier, then you need to wake up at 6 in the morning every single day. And that sounds like it sucks. That sounds terrible. That doesn't sound like fun. I want to enjoy my day. I want to relax. I just came back from a hard day. Well, you need to make sure that you stay on track. Students like to crash during the weekends. They want to go, oh man, I'm so tired, I'll sleep in a little bit on the weekends. That confuses your brain. It doesn't know what it's supposed to do. Monday rolls around and the 6 o'clock alarm clock goes off, and your brain goes, wait a minute, whoa, it's time to get up, I thought we had more time. It's not ready, you're drowsy. If you start going to bed at 9 o'clock every single day, you write into your schedule, this is when I sleep, and follow through with it, your body will follow through with it. You're going to look at your phone and see, oh, it's 8:08. Your brain will say, hey, that's about an hour before I need to go to bed. I'm going to start mentally preparing myself to go to sleep. And if you follow through on your promise and put your head on the pillow at 9 o'clock, like your brain expects, you're going to drift off. If you set your alarm clock to 6 o'clock every single day, your brain is going to get used to that. It's going to know when it's supposed to wake up, and it's going to start waking itself up ahead of time. The 6 o'clock bell will ring, and you're already going to be mostly awake. It requires a lot of discipline, and it's not going to be fun. Your friends are going to whine, saying that you should stay up a little bit later. Just tell them you need a little bit more sleep. It's worth doing. Too many students suffer in their grades because they're not able to get themselves enough sleep. They're not able to discipline themselves. Make sure that they sit down and say, I need to set aside time to get the basic necessity that is sleep. It's something that's undervalued. Setting yourself a bedtime is easy. And if you start doing it, you will get better sleep. It's not too late to start breaking the idea that students are always tired, that they're going to be the walking dead, that they are insomniacs. It's not too late to catch up on sleep. Thank you.